Hey, Cards fans, welcome back to the pod. I know today's going to be an off-season pod since it's the off-season, but we're going to talk about the changes at the coaching and the coaching roles in the Cardinals organization. We're going to talk about the potential opting out of Nolan Arenado and Wainwright coming back and a couple other things. So I guess we can start off with the coaching changes. So
Yep.
they weren't fires. They were just people stepping down.
Yeah. I think Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, was just stepping down just because I think he was done. But the hitting coach, I read somewhere that he felt like there was a little bit of adversity against him. So I don't know necessarily all the details about that per se. But I think most of the coaching positions were just people stepping down. I think the only one that had a little bit of a little bit of tea, if you call it that, was the Jeff Albert hitting coach thing. But I don't know necessarily how real all the stuff that you read on the internet is, obviously. Could have been. And I could totally understand if it was real. I know even I have kind of talked about sometimes when our offense is being inconsistent, I'm like, maybe we need a new hitting coach for like a change of pace kind of a thing. I know a lot of people are a little bit upset because he is kind of like a top 5 coach. But I honestly think with the new staff that we're going to eventually get, Ollie was new last year and he's going to be continuous. But I think I think it'll give us kind of like a fresh look on things, which might help us. I think even immediate, and I think in the long run, having new voices are always are sometimes all you need to really get going. New manager, like look at the Phillies, new manager, and they're in the World Series now. So a change of voice can definitely help. I think I heard something about maybe Stubby Clapp moving to the assistant managerial position since Skip Schumacher is going to be managing the Miami Marlins.
Oh yeah, the bench
good
coach.
For him, honestly. I think that'd be good for Skip. I'm excited to see when we play Miami how he's gonna fight against this.
Yeah, Miami's got a good young team. They got a good young core, but they definitely need to add some pieces to it. I mean, you got
I think
Sandy
Young definitely helps. Oh my god!
You got Sandy. Bro. You got Jazz Chisholm. They got a few nice guys.
I like Jazz. You like Jazz? I like Jazz.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a good change of pace. Obviously, we don't know who we're going to get yet because all that information kind of just came out. So we'll see. I think they're going to do a good job. Obviously, they got plenty of time to figure it out. And then the other big thing is the Nolan Arenado side for potential leaving, I guess. Now, I know that he's stated that he likes playing in St. Louis. But I also, you stated earlier that he's maybe trying to play a little closer to home. And I know that we were talking about a little bit about potential places that he could go. But do you think, what do you think is the higher possibility? Do you think it's like more likely that he'll opt out and try and go for a different team? Or do you think it's more likely that he'll just stay with the contract that we gave him?
So I think he's going to opt in, but I'm thinking he's putting the pressure on Mozeliak. Like, if I opt in, these are my demands. This is what I want, Yeah. And I think one of those demands is a higher payroll and a catcher, You know, he likes the
Yeah,
Cardinals, but he wants to win, definitely.
of course. You know, we had a chance this year, and we kind of, you know, dropped the ball. I don't, which is, disappointing a little bit for the sake of all the storylines that we had going on. Um, and not to diss on the guy, but I don't know if Arenado even had a single hit the entire wild card series.
He did.
He did? Okay. Well,
He had one in the first game, but him and Goldschmidt definitely had a poor
they just
playoff
got so
series.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
definitely think I think he can stay. I really don't think he'll move that much. However, if he does, let's just entertain that idea for a little bit. If he does leave and he does opt out, who do we have anybody in the minors that would play third? Or now that I'm actually thinking about it out loud, Brendan Donovan would probably just be our third baseman at that point.
wasn't Nolan Gorman a third baseman originally?
He was a third baseman originally, and then he shifted over because we had Nolan Arenado. Um, but I don't know. Would you necessarily want to do that? Okay, we're going to shift you to second base, learn that stuff, kind of forget about third base a little bit, and then in a year or two, it's like, oh wait, just kidding, go back to third base. I think they would just make Brendan Donovan the guy since he's the utility guy and he's good at kind of everything and everything. And he was good at third base, and they say that third base is his best position overall. They think he's actually, I think, a Gold Glove finalist for utility players, which is really cool. Good for him.
Yeah. But I don't know if you want to have Brendan Donovan as your a starting guy. I mean, because he's a solid contact hitter, but he doesn't have much power.
Oh yeah,
and his defense is it's okay, but it's not Arenado level.
right. But he's also only a rookie. He also just started.
That's
and he's
true.
been playing everywhere and everywhere. Would he get better at third base if that was his spot, and he just continued doing that over and over again, get those reps? Obviously, who knows, But it's hard to be a Nolan Arenado level though guy. He came on and he was just elite kind of right away. But yeah, this might be weird to say, but will I be a little bit disappointed if Arenado doesn't come back? Yeah, because I think he's a big help for us. But I don't think I would necessarily be distraught if he did, because I feel like we could still fill the piece and still be fine and still be competitive, and be a championship team even without him. I do. I would love to have him because he's a big, because he is that good power bat when you need it. He can crush that ball. But I'm not going to necessarily be insanely upset, I guess.
So, but you'd want the Cardinals to go out and get some pieces, right? To fill that position?
Yeah. Yeah, if we're not paying him that much money and we have the money that we can spend on other things, we definitely want the Cardinals to look at other things and do that. And I'm sure that they would, being that they are a good organization in that aspect of kind of filling in the holes. But, at the end of the day, I feel like if he wants to win, he still should play with us because we still are a winning team. Because I can't think of any other team that he might go to other than really the Dodgers, even potentially. That would be a winning team. But even the Dodgers, they didn't go to the World Series. They lost to San Diego in their first, in the divisional series. So,
yeah,
it's kind of like you run the risk of that whole stuff.
Yeah, the playoffs is kind of a crapshoot, right? You get hot at the right time.
As soon as you make it in. Mm-hmm. Anybody can
Just
go.
like the Phillies. I mean, we're arguably a more talented team than them, but they just got hot.
Oh my gosh, of course. I 100% truly believe that if we won game 1, we would have won the wild card series. I think we would have beaten Atlanta because they were not on their game at all against Philly. I think we would have easily beaten Atlanta. And I think San Diego might have given us some trouble, but I still think we would have beaten San Diego too because I think we're just a more consistent team. We just we dropped the ball in the wild card series, and so because we couldn't continue, we couldn't show that. But the Phillies got hot, and they were doing well, and now they're in the Fall Classic and up by a game. They won game 1.
Yeah, that was a fun game too.
But yeah. Oh my gosh, back and forth.
I mean, the Phillies
5-0, and
Phillies are just showing that they can come back.
It's crazy. Down by 5, win 6-5 in extras too. Like they call them the Fighting Phillies for a reason, I guess. Won't go away. And Arenado, has the potential of going away, but one person we know who isn't going away, who I thought was going to, Adam Wainwright. He's back.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me.
He said that this is his last year, but he's back for one more year. Crazy. Didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah. The only downside I see to this is Mo seeing that we have like 5 pitchers, like Flaherty, Matz, Wainwright,
Quintana, Montgomery, and Wainwright.
And saying we don't need to add anybody. We got 5 guys, but
yeah,
it's really realistic that at least one of them gets injured. And I mean, probably Flaherty, honestly.
I was about to say probably most likely Flaherty,
or just doesn't perform to our expectations.
Doesn't show up,
Yeah, and I think we need to add an ace, or like another like just top end strikeout guy, because most of the pitchers we have are pitch to contact guys. And with pitch to contact guys, you're kind of rolling the dice, like, are they going to hit it to the fielders or not,
Right.
So, with the strikeout guys,
it's more
of a sure thing.
Obviously, if they are remotely close, we do have the defense to be able to do that. But you do run that risk of missing your spot and them hitting a home run. Because especially if you're pitching for contact, if you want them to hit the ball and you just miss your spot just barely, and instead of rolling over, they get like a line drive in a center field and they get a double out of it, runner in scoring position, it's a little trickier. You really have to be consistently hitting your spot if you're a pitch to contact guy.
Yeah. I also think on the topic of starting pitching, I think Wainwright's probably not going to play. Like, I don't know if he's going to pitch every 5 days. So I still think you got to go out, try to get
the reason. Yeah, try and get a guy. But I think the reason that Wainwright was playing a lot this season was because it was with Yachty, and they were trying to, get that history etched in, which good for them because they did. But I feel like he's going to kind of play a little bit like an Albert Pujols kind of a role more, and hopefully be like just the mentor to like the starting pitchers, more or less, or like a good example, I guess.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of strange that Wainwright said that he looked back at the footage and his stride was off by like a foot, which is pretty crazy.
Mm,
And then it like comes out that like
that's a
Maddox
yeah.
just kind of like lets him be or let him be and just didn't really pay
Yeah, and didn't really
attention
talk to them
to
much.
him. That's just kind of crazy, right? I mean, how are you not?
Well, I think it just shows a yeah, I think it just shows a little bit of disconnect. I never really was a big Mike Maddox guy ever. I just think he kind of just went about things and like just the wrong way for us anyway. But especially considering the fact that like I get that you can trust, but like you still need to help if you see something, But if you're not even paying attention, then there's then you're not doing your job. You're not doing what we're paying you to do. So I just think
Yeah,
that it was just I feel like that disconnect was maybe one of the reasons why he stepped down or anything. I don't know if he's like done with baseball or if he's just done with the Cardinals, but I was never a big Mike Maddox guy in the first place anyway. So I'm honestly a little bit excited to see who's going to fill
yeah,
this role.
yeah. That's the one role I'm
So
pretty excited about because the Cardinals like pitching development has like not been that good. Like Oviedo is supposed to be good. We failed
mm-hmm.
him. I mean, every guy that comes up is just we haven't really developed
Yeah,
a good pitcher in a long time.
and I'm not saying it's Mike's fault, not one guy, but the entire time that he's been here, we haven't had an insane guy. I think wasn't he with Texas when we beat them in 2011?
Maddox,
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was
it's
the Texas
possible.
pitching coach when we beat them in 2011. Which is, ironic, but but yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about for a while in this offseason stuff. Who we're going to get, who are the new coaches? Is Arenado going to come back? Who are we going to sign free agency? Like, are we looking for anybody? Obviously, catcher position. Contreras question mark. That's a big kind of storyline potentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as we go through this, we can get distracted at watching the Blues play, which unfortunately their offense also for some reason kind of went cold the last 3 games, and they lost 3 in a row, kind of like the Cardinals did, sort of. So hopefully that's not a recurring theme for St. Louis sports, but holy cow, it's crazy.
Yeah, and the soccer team's gonna start up here pretty soon, right?
Oh, I'm so stoked. I think there's an event going on where it's like the soccer, like the St. Louis City 2, like kind of like the minors sort of the soccer team is
Yeah,
playing like a real European soccer team or something like that. I don't know. There's something going on, but Centene Stadium is no longer Centene Stadium. That's a big thing. That came out a few days ago. It's just City Park, I think, because
yeah,
something, I don't know, with the naming rights, I guess. I don't know if it was just legal stuff or if it was like animosity between the companies, but I'm not going to lie to you. City Park sounds a little bit better in my opinion, but just me.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, but hey,
Mo said he's going to increase payroll, so hopefully we get some
I'm
guys.
intrigued to see what. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what that means for free agency. Like, I
But
know
I have a
we're never
feeling
gonna. We're never. What's
we're
your
not
feeling?
going to do much.
What have you got? Mm.
I have a feeling we're not going to do much. I kind of want a shortstop, a Trey Turner, and then try and get a a catcher and an ace, but it's not going
Right.
to happen
Well,
probably.
I was I don't think I was about to say I don't think this is happening at all. But Carlos Correa opted out of his contract with the Twins because he was like, I'm the product. If they want me, they're going to have to pay the money for the product, which I, by the way, hate that because that's so friggin' selfish. I get it. I get it. You know, that's their job. You want to get paid. You want to get paid the money that you think you deserve to get paid. But at the same time, showing a little bit of team loyalty does help, you know, especially with PR. But I don't think we would ever do that. But he's also a free agent right now. But do you think he will get signed by a team? Because Minnesota was the ones who picked him up. And I never thought that Minnesota was going to be the one that picked him up in last year's free agency.
Yeah.
So is there even anybody that would want to pick him up in this free agency? I don't know.
Why not?
I don't
He's
know
a
who's-
top
I don't
tier
know-
shortstop. Why would they? Why would somebody
I
not
don't,
pick
I don't
him
know
up?
who's looking for a shortstop. I don't know who needs that right now, other than the Cardinals, potentially. Even though I like Tommy Edman.
Yeah. No, but there's got to be a few teams. Like, the Dodgers lose Trey Turner, they'll probably go ahead and get somebody. Maybe Correa.
Yeah.
Correa. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll see.
It'd be interesting. I know of one other thing. So actually, this is really cool. So a friend of mine that I have over at Catholic Campus Ministry here at Missouri State, I can't remember how. So I don't know if it's her brother or her uncle or something. One of her family members, or like I don't know if it's like an aunt or something. One of her, basically, the gist of it is one of her family members is Corey Seager's wife. So she has had dinner, like family dinner, with Corey Seager.
That's funny.
Which I was like, what? What? That's crazy. But Corey Seager's on the Texas Rangers, and they just hired what's his face? Holy crap! How am I blanking? They hired the manager from the Giants a few years ago. Was it Bruce Bochy? Hold up. I'm looking this up really quick because I know that this was a thing. I know I
Tony
saw it.
Beasley?
No, I could have sworn. Wait a minute. I
Oh,
could have sworn that the
Bruce-
Giants, like the old Giants,
Bruce
manager was
Bochy?
gone. Bruce Bochy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Bruce. I think I think he's going because I think he was one who won. Was it the 2012 Giants? No, one of the 2010 Giants winning teams, I believe. Bruce Bochy, I think, was the manager, and so I think that Texas could technically, I think, because on paper they have a good team. Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, they have a decently good rotation. I honestly think that they could be competitive this year too with their off-season stuff and signing him as a manager. So I'm intrigued. There's
Yeah.
lots of off-season stuff going now, and World Series is still happening. Obviously, that's as soon as that's over, there's going to be a ton of stuff. But thank God for not having a lockout, huh? Because then we can
Yeah.
actually talk
Yeah.
about stuff.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest
It'll be
free
fun.
agents
It'll be interesting.
one of the biggest free agents gonna be obviously Aaron Judge. And he's gonna want a lot of
Oh my
money.
gosh. Oh yeah. And will the Yankees give it to him? I feel like there's the whole thing of
Maybe.
they have to, or else the fans will go at New York would just be a dumpster fire because they're gonna go crazy. And it's New York, so but I don't know if the Yankees are actually gonna do it. There's that they kind of have to, but do they want to? I would say you would want to, but there's that whole are they gonna spend the money? And so, yikes! I don't know. I don't know.
I would think so.
I would want them to. You know?
I don't know what other team's gonna put up that much money. Maybe the Dodgers.
Maybe.
Definitely not the Cardinals.
No. And here's the other thing: we don't need the outfield because we have Yepes, Carlson, Dickerson, Nootbaar. Like we have so many guys. I guess if we get rid of some of those guys to make room for him, that's potential. Wouldn't that be freaking crazy though? That would break. That would totally everybody. I mean, obviously people are going to be talking about where he's going, but if the Cardinals are never even a thing until rumors come out where we're talking to the guy, and then people are like, "Freaking, this is crazy. He might be a Cardinal." Blah. I mean, I think it would be fun. I'm not gonna lie. I think it'd be fun, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that's honestly, I'm more intrigued on where Aaron Judge is gonna go compared to Carlos Correa. I'm not a Carlos Correa guy. I know he's Puerto Rico, and that's fantastic, and I love that, but he just doesn't have a good attitude on his head. So it's a little bit of a yikes. I'm a very big. You can be the best player on the world, but if you're not a nice guy, I don't want you in my clubhouse. I want the team to be able to be a team and not be worried about I don't want to sit next to this guy because he's he's mean to me. He's not nice. He thinks he's hot stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I
guess we'll see.
Lots of news that's going to be coming out here. Lots of fun stuff. A little bit of a quicker one. Not as much going on, but there's going to be a lot going on soon. And World Series is underway. Philly up 1-0.
Yeah. Watch the World Series, guys.
Because they still have. Oh, please do. It's gonna be chaos. Just first game one. Chaos. There was a close play. Jose Altuve stole second base. And it was such a close play, even on the replay, that there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. So he was safe. They got out of it. Phillies got out of it. They ended up winning. It's gonna be a crazy World Series. Games are going to be going back and forth every time. Fighting Phillies or being the fighting Phillies. Bryce Harper's trying to get his first ring in his first World Series ever. Astros are still trying to get rid of the whole, we can't win a World Series unless we're cheating thing, because they still have that stigma a little bit on them. I'm a little bit over it at this point, to be honest. But there's still a little bit of that. If they don't win this year, people are still going to be like, they can't win unless they're cheating. They can get to the dance, but they can't win. But yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly okay with either one winning. I like Dusty Baker. He's a great manager. Think he should do well. I would like him to get a ring. Jeremy Pena, their rookie at shortstop, is doing absolutely fantastic. Has clutched up for them to get them to the World Series. Good for him. So I think I'd be okay if the Astros win. I would not be upset. But then there's the whole flip side of the coin with Philly and Bryce Harper, Edmundo Sosa, old Cardinal that's now on the Phillies. You have some of those guys there that are having that potential of winning. That would be fun too. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit more preference to Philadelphia, but I'm not upset with either team. So thank God though. Thank God the Dodgers aren't in it. Holy crap. Golly.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Philly. But I can see how you would want Dusty to get one.
Yeah.
Individually. I'm definitely rooting for
as a team
Philly.
As a whole, not so much. But individually, I'm okay if some of the Astros win.
Okay. Dude, and Philly sports is kind of on fire right now, and the Eagles are undefeated.
Oh my gosh, the Eagles are crushing it.
Jalen Hurts got to be balling.
Philadelphia is just kind of on something else right now. But you know who else is kind of doing interesting that I really like? because they're kind of like the underdog team a little bit of football. The New York Jets are second place in the AFC East. Like, I mean, props.
Wow.
Kudos to them. They're putting in the work. So, yeah, sports are in full swing. World Series is going on.
I feel like this
football's
is
going on, hockey's going on.
I feel like this is like the perfect week. You know, you got the World Series, you got college football, you got hockey.
Yep.
I mean, it just feels like everything is going on. Everything's humming. You know, sometimes there's like,
and I mean, even the MLS. Yeah, there's like lulls here and there, but like even the Major League Soccer is in their playoffs. They're doing playoffs themselves too. It's crazy. Everybody's playing. Everybody's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Every sport in America, I think, is playing this week. I think you got your baseball in the World Series, you got your football, you got your college football, you got your hockey, you got your soccer going on. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of other big sports, but that's kind of it. It's kind of the big things. Oh, is the NBA playing? I know they're playing. I think at least preseason. They haven't started though yet, have they?
Maybe
like
I don't
the actual
know.
Season.
I'm not that big into the NBA.
I'm not either. That's why I don't know. I think they're playing still like preseason games though. But even they're starting to do stuff. So, you know, if you're into sports at all, this is the time to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see who we get, and as soon as that happens, we'll talk about them, see what they are, do a little bit of research.
For sure.
All righty, yo. Until next time. Have a good day, my man.
See ya.